Hey everyone, Pastor Bruce here, and I hope you're having a great week. Hope that your time with the Lord has been sweet and awesome, and I hope that as you've been processing Sunday's message, the truth of what God has in His Word about us living on purpose with our talents, hopefully that's been settling into your heart and your spirit. That's why we're here today, is to recap a little bit of that and talk about what that could possibly look like for us moving forward, just as you've had a little bit of time to process what was said and hopefully think and pray on those concepts and ideas. That's really the purpose of our midweek recaps, is to kind of sit back down and see where we're at now that we've processed what God had for us on Sunday. So um, like I said, what we talked about was on Sunday was living on purpose with our talents, which means the gifts and abilities He has given us, both on the spiritual side, the spiritual gifts and talents, but also the innate natural giftings and talents I think that God has given us. I believe we're to use everything. Everything we have belongs to God. We're only His stewards. And so whether it's a spiritual gift or a natural gift, I believe we need to use those in a way and steward those in a way that honors God and honors what He has given to us. And so just rehashing a little bit of what we talked about on Sunday. One of the main things I guess I kind of walked away from was just that thought. When you looked at the parable of the talents, and Jesus talks about, he points out the three different servants and how the servant with the 5 bags of silver stewards it well, and he's rewarded and celebrated, and the servant with 2 bags is celebrated because he stewards it well, and then obviously the steward with the 1 bag of silver was not a good steward and didn't steward it well, and is obviously considered, it says, a wicked and lazy servant. One of the main points is we talked about, kind of 4 points from that. One of the ones that really stuck with me is for myself, is am I evaluating the effort or the outcome of my stewardship? Sometimes I can get a little discouraged and think, well, like, I'm never going to be, this on this level. And so I can almost not bother, because it's like, well, I'm not going to have a huge outcome. And so I don't really need to put in a lot of effort. And when we think that way, when we believe that way, we limit what God can do. And we end up not being good stewards of what God has given us, because in that parable, the master rewards the effort, not the outcome. He rewards their stewardship. The fact that they were giving their best and stewarding to the best of their abilities is what is celebrated. And so whatever that looks like in your life, what does it look like to focus on the effort of stewardship in these areas instead of the outcome? Not worrying about the outcome, allowing God to determine and help with the outcome, but for us to be faithful with the effort of our stewardship. And another thing from that parable that stuck out to me was the fear aspect, and how that servant who was not a good steward, was unfaithful. What kept him from being faithful was fear that he wouldn't have the outcome the master desired. And so he was stuck in inactivity. And I believe there's a lot of people who go to church, who love Jesus, who are just inactive. They've buried gifts, they've buried skills and talents, and they've just remained inactive because of fear. Maybe not fear of God's retribution, but fear that they'll look silly, or fear that they're not good enough, or fear of whatever it is, fill in the blank. And it's kept us inactive for the kingdom. And so my hope is you'll pray about that, especially if you feel the Lord putting His finger on something in your life that kind of popped into your mind as we talked about living inactively with a gift or talent, that you might think, I have been inactive with this gift, skill, talent, and I need to be more active with it. I need to be a good steward of it. And so I hope you felt challenged in that. We also talked about 3 big questions that I took from Todd Wilson's book, More, which I think are really good questions to wrestle over. The first one being, who am I created to be? That identity question, it's so important, and we really can't move forward, or shouldn't move forward, until we have clarity there. Because without clarity on who we are, without clarity on our identity, it's going to mess with the answers to the other 2, because pride's going to come into play, or we'll make decisions not based on who we are, but based on what outcomes we want, because a lot of times for a lot of people, it's the outcome that they pull identity from. Either they're very successful and so they feel like they're a successful person, or they fail and they feel like a failure. And it's because they don't have great clarity on question number one: who am I created to be? When you have clarity on your identity, when you have a true and clear identity, then you can ask yourself, what am I created to do? Now that I know who I am to my core, now that I know who God has designed me to be, now what do I do with that? And you can really have some healthy answers there as to what what am I created to do, and having that purpose or that mission answer to that question. Big deal there, really understanding what it is we're created to do. And then, where am I created to go? What capacity am I supposed to serve, and then where am I supposed to serve in that capacity? What does the location look like? For a lot of us, it doesn't, that question can seem like, oh, I'm going to end up in some third world country next year if I ask myself that question. For a lot of us, we're already present in the place we're supposed to minister. We just need to identify where that is. I think it's reality that we can't really live with great intentionality to the utmost degree in every location around us. Like some of us, we go to work, we shop in certain places. I go to the gym. All these different locations that I go, asking myself, Lord, where are you working? Where am I? Where have you placed me that you want me to really invest into? And asking that question of go. In that respect, that's a compatibility or position question for a lot of us. Again, I think we're already there. We're just not being intentional in that space. And because we haven't asked ourselves, where am I supposed to go? Lord, where are you working around me that I can invest into? Or that you're already working, that you want me to invest more of my time, more of my energy, and focus into. These three questions, I think, can be transformational for a believer's life. I think this should already be a part of our life. We should already have some answers to these. If you've walked with Jesus for any length of time, my hope is you do have answers to these questions. But each of them can be lifelong journeys that we continue to pull more. That identity, man, you can't spend too much time in that identity question, learning about who God says we are and resting in that, and simply just being in that place of identity and celebrating that sonship or daughtership that we have in Jesus, at Him as our Father, and just really resting in that identity. And then, like I said on Sunday, the answers to questions 2 and 3, they can change. They can adjust as we go through life. Our mission, our purpose can change over time. Sometimes it doesn't, but sometimes it can. And so we have to remain sensitive to the Spirit, that He can move us. I think of Paul when he's on his missionary journey and he's going one place, and he keeps an open mind to the answer to question number 3. And so as he's going one way, the angel shows up and says, no, go here. And so he just adjusts, and his location, his answer to number 3 changes in a minute because God directed him somewhere else. And I hope that we would have that same sensitivity as well. Let me know. You can certainly comment below in any of your takeaways that you took from Sunday's message. If something hit you or you had a specific takeaway, please comment under the video. Because someone else may resonate a lot with that as well. And I think it always encourages us, and certainly encourages me, to know what God is speaking to you, what you're taking away from the messages on Sunday, and what's really resonating in your heart. So if you can do that, that'd be awesome. I'd always appreciate that. This Sunday we have, we're going to be continuing in our series. As far as calendar-wise, event-wise, I think the big thing on the calendar right now is our the estate planning seminar that we have coming up on April 3rd. If you haven't registered for that, open up your app, go to the inbox, and click on that link from the announcement that we sent out regarding the financial planning seminar. I really hope that you'll join us for that. And if you are at all thinking about joining us, please RSVP so we know how many people we have for lunch. really need to know the numbers there so that our team can plan for that lunch. It really helps that when people sign up early, that way we don't have, half the people sign up the day before and we have to go out and do more shopping and get more food and change all of our plans. So please RSVP as early as possible for that. I'm looking forward to a really good time. I think the seminar is going to be super awesome. I think just based off the information we've gone through with Orchard Alliance, it has been huge to be wrestling through some of these things from a biblical perspective, and I've really appreciated the journey myself, and I think you will too. So if you don't have definitive plans and you don't already have all your T's crossed and I's dotted in regards to living wills and things like that, just show up at the seminar. It will be beneficial to you. You will learn something, and you'll probably, my guess is, you'll walk away from that with an encouragement or with a feeling of we need to take care of this. Because it is so important that we steward what God has given us well, even beyond our life. So, yeah, I think that's all we have. Calendar, well, we have men's and women's Bible study tonight, as well as youth group is happening tonight. So join us for any of those. And I think that's about it. So, Sunday morning, join us for worship, 10:30 a.m., hopefully in person. But if you can't make it in person, you can always catch it online here. And I hope you have a great week. Enjoy your week. Have a blessed week and a blessed time with the Lord. Talk to you later. See you Sunday, hopefully.